What's good, Internet? We're back. Another episode of Afternoon Delight, an NBA show by the Hardwood Herald. Your boys are back. I'm Corey. This is Larry. And we are going to break down some basketball NBA playoff for you.
You introduced me on the podcast.
So, I just had a busy day. I didn't get around to it, but I really just wanted to make our set graphic a tribute to Billy Donovan, the new head coach of the Chicago Bulls.
So, unfortunately, we actually do have a reason to talk about the Bulls today, but yeah. I would love to dive deep into that, and I can't wait. But let's talk about what actually matters right now, and that's the NBA playoffs.
We haven't got the contract details yet, so I guess there's not exactly things to iron out on that front yet.
I'm sure we'll find plenty to talk about, Billy Donovan.
All right, let's start with last night's game, Lakers-Nuggets. Nuggets are back in this thing, baby.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you could just tell it's a sense of urgency game. Nuggets felt the sense of urgency. Lakers did not. I mean, it just, going down the stat sheet, looking over everything, it just completely spells it out. I mean, game 2, the Lakers destroyed the Nuggets on the boards. Game 3, the Nuggets destroyed the Lakers on the boards. Rebounds are usually a good way to tell, the sense of urgency of who's actually, who actually gives a shit about, who feels it, who feels that pressure. Rebounds are usually a good way to tell. People are going to miss shots. Baskets are not going to go in, which is going to default assists, but you could always tell the hustle stats by rebounds.
Yeah, for sure. And this felt like a floor ceiling game. Like, this is what the Lakers look like when the rest of the guys are not showing up. And this is what the Nuggets look like when their guys do show up. Obviously, the Lakers' floor when the other guys don't show up is still probably a little bit higher than other teams because they have LeBron James and Anthony Davis.
Right.
But, when you have a guy like Jeremy Grant stepping up for the Nuggets, that's huge. And it takes a lot of the pressure off of Jamal Murray, Nikola Jokic to have to be perfect every game.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I mean, Jeremy Grant putting up – I mean, again, you can't really count on it. I would think that Marcus Smart is going to have a better game again before Jeremy Grant is. So you can't really count on it. But, it's great when it happens. It's nice. These situations like that was what helped you win games when role players step up. But again, at the end of the day, to me, the Lakers felt like they can – you could tell, it's they didn't have the sense of urgency to win this game. LeBron got to the free throw line twice. That doesn't win games. Anthony Davis has 2 rebounds. Yeah. So, that's not showing anything in a sense of urgency. I'm not too concerned from the Lakers aspect in regards to, is there something wrong with the Lakers? No, it's one game. They didn't need the game. The Nuggets needed the game, and you could tell.
Yeah, and the Lakers, they look absolutely – I mean, both teams look gassed, but the Lakers in particular, like, as they were crawling back, it got to a point where they just literally – it looked like they couldn't do anything on the floor, and they started just, like, kind of jacking shots up because they just couldn't exert the energy to get into the paint, drive, kick, do all the stuff that – is going to get you back into a game, get guys open shots. And when you can't do that necessarily, the Carusos and Morrises and all those guys, it's hard for them. They can't create their own offense. So it makes it harder on all those other guys to contribute in any meaningful way. Now, the Nuggets also look gassed.
Yeah, I mean, they should be.
And they should be.
The Lakers have no fucking excuses. They've had a cake ride to this point. They have no excuses. The Nuggets, though, this is fucking exhausting for them.
Yeah, and there was, Caruso did a good job on Jamal Murray one-on-one when he was checking him towards the end of the game. But Jamal Murray was literally just gassed. And then he got that second win, hit the crazy shot, made that crazy pass. That was kind of like the highlights towards the end of the game to kind of ice the game and give them a little bit of separation. But even a guy who is like 23 years old, he looked exhausted by the end of this game.
Jamal Murray's turning himself into a consistent star. So, I mean, it's great for what he's doing. I didn't think that he'd be able to do this consistently. It was a matchup situation last series, why, it made sense. So, yeah, great for him. It's great what he's doing. It's fun to see, a young player making a leap.
Oh, for sure. The Lakers zone, they went to like a 1-2-2. That was fun really quickly.
You know what I hate? So I'm watching the game yesterday.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there and I'm like, I fucking hate this thing that this guy is doing, and I can't figure out why, because I usually like this. It's Dwight Howard just being annoying to Jokic in a way that's like not basketball related.
Right.
And like I can't figure out exactly why I hate it. So I sat there and I thought about it some more. Because like I love when like Lance Stevenson is being a clown and being annoying. And I like when Lou Dort is just harassing people. And I love being annoying, to other star players to try to get in their head and, just be that hindrance on, try to get them out of their game.
I noticed you didn't mention Joakim Noah in his Chicago years.
No.
So you skipped over that.
The actual, but it's different though. Joakim Noah was doing heart and passion. Joakim Noah wasn't being a clown.
Yeah. No, he
wasn't being a clown.
But he still did get under your skin things. Like he would do the clap in your face type stuff.
No, but again, that's just passion heart. Dwight Howard is doing the like.
No, Dwight Howard's a clown.
Dwight Howard's doing the clown thing where like we're waiting for an inbound and Dwight Howard just has his nose basically touching, Jokic's face, like just being in his face, trying to be annoying that way, where you could tell like if you turn and looked at him, he's gonna smile. Like it's something fucking stupid like that, he's just being a clown. And normally I am in for this type of stuff, but I think it's because Dwight Howard, in my mind, is supposed to be considered. He should consider himself a star. Which, granted, I understand he's not been playing like one, but Dwight Howard has a good chance to be a Hall of Famer. So that being said,
he's going to be.
He's going to be a Hall of Famer. So there's not many Hall of Famers that I can sit there and think of off the top of my head that I'm like, this guy's a clown. Like we don't need clown stuff from Dwight Howard. We have other clown people that can do clown things. Dwight Howard carry himself like a goddamn star.
Here's the point that piggybacks off that point. It's not authentic.
Maybe that's it, because it's not in his personality. Like
he's trying to take on that annoying role from
which
that
I can appreciate that too. Of accepting, he's got to accept his role. He obviously understands that 3 teams are unfortunate later that passing the ball down to the post and clearing out for him is not the way to play anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, it's good that he's accepted that and he's changed his role, that he understands. He's just, hey, protect the rim and as well as, roll to the rim on offense. But his antics aren't authentic. And it's the things that people disliked about him at his other stops. Like him talking trash to Jokic, like saying Batman's coming for the Joker or stuff like that. It's like, it's corny. Like
it's corny.
Dwight Howard's corny, and that's what it is. So like
it's corny.
You're not actually believing that he is the guy that he's portraying to do. Like, yeah.
I thought he was Superman. He's Batman now?
He was Superman. I don't know. Maybe somebody else is Batman. Whatever it is. But like all of that stuff, it's out of character for him as our guy.
Yeah, right, it's corny.
It's he's pretending, he's trying, he's acting. So if I'm the Nuggets and he's doing that, like it's not getting to my head. It's not getting, I'm just like, this guy's.
You're not gonna get into. You're not gonna bother Jokic with shit like that.
No, this Jokic has got like crazy Serbian brothers that wrestled with him as Dwight Howard's not getting in his head. I will say, it seems like we are getting at least one Jokic holy shit shot a game where that just makes like Twitter explode, that you're just like, how on earth is this guy hitting this fadeaway off foot weird high arcing jumper that touches nothing but the net? It's insane. It's insane.
And besides Jamal Murray making a leap, I think he's making a little bit of a leap too. It's just the goddamn dominant consistency that he's doing every game. It truly is insane how good he is. He basically if he was on those 2000 Spurs instead of Tim Duncan, it would be no different.
Well, maybe not on the defensive end.
Sure, but it's ridiculous, the passing and everything, the way he single-handedly breaks just defenses.
I mean, this is why. After last year's playoffs, where he was the one who carried the team. Jamal Murray had some moments, but it was Jokic's coming out party. It's the reason why I put money on him to win MVP this year. Did I think he was going to win MVP? I didn't, but I thought if this dude plays up to his potential, he is an MVP level player. He could be that guy, especially with how he was able to, get his assist numbers. Like I figured if he's a guy who could up his scoring to 25 points a game, he gets his 11 rebounds and somehow averages 7-8 assists, you start getting in the conversation. Obviously, he's a guy who's probably showing up to most places out of shape, which is why everyone was so surprised by the fact that he was skinny showing up to the bubble, and that hurts him, and he doesn't hurt himself fully in the regular season like he does in the playoffs.
If you're starting a franchise,
yeah,
are you starting with Giannis or are you starting with Jokic?
I'm still starting it with Giannis.
I think I'm going Jokic because I think Giannis is insane, but Giannis has to play that style. You have to basically build an entire team to Giannis, where I really feel like Jokic can play anyway.
He definitely can, but like, let's say that Giannis had Jamal Murray as a sidekick instead of Middleton, who we both love, but
you would lose more games?
If Jamal Murray is his sidekick in these bubbles, it gives him that shot creator shooter that they don't have, and we're probably having a different conversation because Giannis is...
I just think you have to play that... Yeah, no, but I'm still having the same conversation. You just have to play that style. Until he develops a three-point shot, it's a major flaw in his game. Until he develops a two-point shot that is outside of the free throw line or outside of the paint, he's going to be stuck in this style. It's a stylistic player. It's like a James Harden type situation. Now, can James Harden play off the ball? Yeah, he can, but his primary style is to do what he's doing. So I think Jokic, you can really fit him into any type of offense.
No doubt. I just think
there's no weakness in his game offensively.
I think with Giannis on both sides of the ball, you're able to get something special out of him, and it's just about finding. Like, he doesn't have a sidekick yet, and he doesn't have his Kobe. He doesn't have his Dwayne Wade. He doesn't have his Penny Hardaway.
Sure, but you're putting Jamal Murray in that category of those guys
in this playoff? I mean, obviously, I'm not putting him in the category of Kobe Bryant.
No, of course,
or even Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade's probably arguably the second best, third best shooting guard of all time, whatever you want to say. But he's been playing the majority
over Zach LaVine
like a superstar. Look, how about this? You put Zach LaVine on the Nuggets, and the conversation around him is significantly different. If we're going to go that way, but Giannis he has a bunch of like, all right, this guy's a good third option, maybe. Like, and it's hard. And, I just think also the pieces around the Nuggets, now that most of them are healthy, although I can't for the life of me figure out how on earth Gary Harris turned into Keith Bogans at 25 years old. It's insane. That dude cannot buy a bucket. His defense is fantastic, but he cannot score for the life of him. He looks so just frightened to shoot the ball. Everything he's thinking about, which is a really tough thing for the Nuggets, game to game. However, I just think, like, look, there's probably not many people who like Jokic as much as me outside of Denver Nuggets fans. I literally wrote a featured article of why I thought he was the next Steve, why he was like Steve Nash in the beginning of the year. So obviously I think that there's not many people I would take over Jokic, and Jokic is still so young, but just Giannis, his untapped potential, the fact that he is such a hard worker, I think he's going to figure it out. And I think
the hard part, I guess where you and I are differing is untapped potential. And I don't know what that means. So I think that's the difference, is that I feel like you're assuming that untapped potential is going to make him a better player. And I'm kind of thinking he is what he is at the moment.
Well, even if he is what he is, it's not like he was shitty in the playoffs. Like, he still was dominant. It's just
it's not like he's bad. I'm not saying he's a bad player.
Yeah, it's just he needs another guy with him to help create offense. But the same argument could be made for anybody. Nobody's winning without that guy,
like Chris Middleton. So Raptors Celtics. What?
That was a series that happened already.
Right. How'd it go?
Spoiler alert.
Celtics. Heat Celtics. Celtics looking to even the series tonight. Yeah. Do they do it?
All right. So
they're in Orlando.
They are in Orlando. It depends how Jimmy comes out. I think this needs to be the Jimmy Butler game. This needs to be the game where Jimmy is not coming out passive. he is coming out like, hey, my nickname's Jimmy G Buckets. The G stands for gets. I'm getting buckets tonight. Like, that's how he needs to come out. And if he does that and he takes control and he sets the pace of the game, I think the Heat can go up 3-1. Now, it's not like that is a lock, and I think that the Celtics have pieces that make it difficult on Jimmy to do that because they can throw so many different guys at him. And Jimmy is unselfish, and he will make passes. He will make the right play the majority of the time. And Jimmy also is not a knockdown shooter, so if you're the Celtics and you can force him into trying to be aggressive and it's just one of those nights where the shot's not dropping, that could be a win. But I think Jimmy needs to prove that he is the best player in the series tonight and do that by going out, setting the tone offensively. And then, at the end of the game or even at different times, one of the things that the Heat do that I love when they use Jimmy as the roll man. I love when Dragic, Jimmy pick and rolls. I think it's super hard to guard. And even if you're switching it with Boston, you're still putting, potentially Boston in mismatch situations just because, even if you get Marcus Smart in a switch, like he's still shorter than Jimmy. Jimmy can just rise up from the mid range where he's much more comfortable than he is on the perimeter. So it all depends how they come out.
No, I agree with you as well. The Heat got to hit threes as well. They shot very poor from the 3-point line last game. They went 9 for 44. No, I'm sorry, 12 for 44. I apologize. They shot 12 for 44, which is 27%. This is a team that lives and dies by the three. They shoot a ton of threes. They got to shoot a better percentage than that. So I think, off the pick and roll, it also creates the switches to where it can raise, that makes the ball move to be able to get more open looks to try to shoot these threes. So if these threes go down, I think it's it's going to be a different game. For the Celtics, I'm interested to watch, is Gordon Hayward fitting back in? Is that just a one-off from that game, or can he really just smoothly fit back in like he has?
Yeah, seen what Gordon Hayward does, he said that his ankle didn't feel great after the last game. Now they've had a bunch of days off in between games.
Yeah, a lot of rest, which is great for both teams. So
that's huge. Yeah, and for both teams. I want to see what, I think Spo is going to do some weird defensive stuff. They've had, outside of just the days off to rest, they've had days off to game plan. So I think that what you're going to see from both coaches is weird shit that they've been able to watch so much film over the last few days. They're going to come up with creative stuff. I think that Miami's going to throw, the zone at Boston, see how Boston handles it. I'm sure Boston will be prepared for it, especially, and it'll be big time, the fact that they have Gordon Hayward back, adding another shooter, passer, ball mover into the zone. But I want to see what kind of strategic changes both coaches make, because I think with all the time off, they're going to be doing fun stuff.
Do we know if Iguodala is playing?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I mean, he got hurt. I'm not sure if he's actually playing. They got to figure out how to. I mean, the Heat got to stop some of these scorers. The Celtics getting scoring from everywhere or from their four guys.
Yeah,
they're getting. It's a balanced attack across the board. So you can't just go take one guy out. And if you're going to take somebody out, you probably want to take out Marcus Smart. You just can't. You can't let him get to 20 points every game.
I think that if I'm Miami, I think I want to try to bait Marcus Smart into playing hero ball.
Sure.
I want to give him looks, and even if one goes down, I want to talk shit to him and try to get him to put up another one. I want to get him into that mode where he's willing to just chuck the ball at the hoop, make or miss, which he's perfectly willing to do that. At any given moment, Marcus Smart believes in Marcus Smart more than anybody else. And
Marcus Smart's also getting to the free throw line a ton right now too. So that's compliments to him.
I love Marcus Smart.
Love Marcus Smart. He's playing great.
And it's not like that plan can't backfire. He can hit 7 threes.
Sure.
But out of all of the guys, all the threats, he's the guy I want shooting the ball.
I kind of go the other way. Out of all the guys, he's the guy that I feel like is easiest to stop.
Yeah.
Offensively. He's gonna wreak havoc. But offensively, he's the game to stop.
Yeah, but that's the point. I want to stop him, but I want to let him keep shooting. I want him to play hero ball. I want him to ISO. So
Tyler hero ball, got it.
maybe you're just trying to switch enough that even if you get your weaker defensive players onto Marcus Smart, you kind of keep the matchup rolling just to get him making decisions.
So Heat Celtics, who do you got tonight?
I'm gonna go with the Heat.
I think I got the Heat too. I think the Heat they're just a better team. I think they have more guys. They have better ways to defend. And again, they shot really poor from 3 last game. I think they'll bounce back.
Yeah.
So I think it's time. Do you want to talk about I know your Bulls minions are waiting for you. Do you want to talk as the Hardwood Herald want to talk about formerly of Billy Donovan?
Yeah, I would love to talk. I think that it's a great hire. I mean, this Billy Donovan is the 3rd coach that the Bulls have hired in, I don't know, like 30 years that has been a head coach in the league before.
I think it's their 3rd coach in 3 years, but yeah.
3rd coach, but that has been a head coach in the NBA. Like their MO is, I am going to hire the assistant, Phil Jackson. I'm going to hire the assistant, Tom Thibodeau. I'm going to hire the assistant, Jim Boylan. I'm going to go get the guy from college, Tim Floyd. I'm going to go get the guy from college, Fred Hoiberg. That's been their MO. Because the Bulls are cheap, and it's cheaper to pay those guys than it is established coaches. Billy Donovan is one of the most respected coaches in the league, in the basketball world. I saw somebody post, forgive me for the lack of credit here, that he's never been fired before. At every spot that he's been to, he has left on his own terms. So obviously people like him. They want to keep him around. Bradley Beal posted about how he was stoked that the Bulls hired him.
Have you worked up about 35 different trade situations for Bradley Beal yet off that tweet?
I have not, because I've come to realize that Bradley Beal is going to be free agent in 2 years, and the Bulls will just sign him for free. That's my plan. Sources report Bradley Beal forcing his way to the Chicago Bulls.
I mean, he'll fit well next to LaMelo.
They would fit well next. There's how many shots they're gonna be to go around between LaMelo, Levine, and Bradley Beal. But he is just a guy who is going to bring stability. I think that people sometimes undervalue and don't understand how good some of these coaches are. Everybody's right about Jim Boylan. He was terrible. But like the part of the NBA basketball outside of X's and O's, go on YouTube, go on Twitter. There are a number of people who are posting plays and X's and O's stuff that are just every ordinary day people. It's not hard to learn the X's and O's of sports. If you just study, there's enough resources that you can do it. Every NBA coach, every assistant coach, video coordinator, player, this and that, has 7 million plays that they can run. The offenses are what they are. It comes down to talent and how your coach can manage that talent that you have. And then when you get to the playoffs, how is that coach going to adjust? I'm very excited that we finally have hired a guy for the first time, seemingly since Tom Thibodeau, who admittedly I was ready to move on from, and I have long regretted that decision, that actually is a grown-up adult who commands respect in a locker room and has the success winning 2 championships at Florida in college and then having a pretty good track record at OKC.
No, I think it's a great signing. I mean, I feel the same way. It's kind of the same thing with the Knicks getting Tibbs. It's kind of the same idea, the same logic across the board. I'm stoked for it. Again, I just want an adult in the room that can, show that, show the brass. I've accomplished something, and this is why. Coaches usually don't just forget how to coach. So it's not like they just forget stuff. It's all about taking, the mix of players that you got and putting them in the best situations to succeed. And Billy Donovan has done nothing but that since he has been, since the brief history. I mean, I'm not a big college guy. I know Florida, he was dominant, and I know OKC. So, OKC looked better. OKC was an overachieving team this year. It's really just, I think it's great across the board.
Yeah, one of the things is that people like to say, like, he didn't adjust, or he let Westbrook do whatever he wanted, and blah blah
Westbrook's
blah.
doing whatever he wants, no one's controlling Westbrook.
Yeah, and the way I look at it, one, they didn't get out of the first round. The loss to the Blazers sucked, but look, you look at Westbrook and Paul George, and it's not like they're really doing much better outside of the situation, right? It's kind of the same thing. And Westbrook is a guy who that franchise catered to, and they kind of needed that out of them after Durant left. But if you're going to, say, oh, he let Westbrook do whatever he wanted, you kind of have to give him credit for letting Chris Paul to do whatever he wanted, right?
Sure.
Like, you can't have it both ways. And then the other thing, like,
why did he leave OKC?
His contract was up, and I guess he didn't want to rebuild, so I don't know why he signed with the Bulls. If that's the case, maybe management said they have moves that they're ready to make, or maybe he just wanted to get out of Oklahoma City, go to Oklahoma City.
LaMelo.
But the other thing that I want to say, like, Lou Dort was a superhero in that round against the Rockets. It's not like that was an easy call to make, letting a rookie check James Harden in the playoffs, and a relatively unknown rookie. There's not many people who are singing the praises of Lou Dort in the regular season. Making the adjustment, trusting a rookie to do that on arguably the best offensive player in the league, the best scorer in the league, it shows that, like, hey, I am willing to trust whoever as long as they're willing to win and play hard. Whether they're a rookie or a veteran, if this person's ready to step up to the challenge, I will let them succeed in the role. I will let them star in their role. So things like that is what I'm excited, about him for, outside of, like, this guy is an adult who's not going to make NBA players literally punch into work with a time clock as they walk into work, like Jim Boylan did, because that's clown shoes.
Yeah, I mean, do you think Tom Thibodeau is going to play RJ Barrett because he was a rookie last year?
I think RJ Barrett might play 51 minutes in the regular season.
Oh, we go the other way with it.
Yeah. So there's only 48 minutes in a game, but RJ Barrett seems like the kind of guy who doesn't want to come out. Tibbs loves that.
Sure.
He also might play a re-signed Taj Gibson for 48 minutes. So,
I would probably be okay with that too. So, yeah, I mean, good job of the Bulls. They still have plenty of time to mess this up, as we could all hope. So, looking forward to see what the draft stuff happens.
Yeah, for sure. I'm excited about draft stuff. There's going to be some kind of There's going to be some kind of combine, apparently, that got released today. I didn't get to read all the details of it yet, but we'll start hearing more and more rumors as the NBA season winds down.
Yeah, but who the hell's going to go to that combine? I wouldn't.
It's going to be like virtual and regional. Like,
it's not like a bunch of second-round picks hanging out doing, doing combine stuff, videos.
I don't know. It could just be more like individual workout type stuff where you get to actually bring the people in.
I got Instagram. I can watch theirs.
Nothing like a curated Instagram.
Right. Well, that's kind of what these combine videos are going to be.
Well, I don't think they want to put them out. I think they want to, like, actually speak to the guys face to face, maybe get their measurements.
Yeah, I'm 7 foot too.
Well, that's the thing. It's easier to say it than actually measure out. So I don't know. We'll see. But I'm dying. So let's sign off. Big game tonight, and we'll be back to discuss it tomorrow. Until then, peace.